Hello guys, so if you have flashed any custom ROM or if you are following my channel, then you must have seen me installing a ROM, and while installing a ROM, we wipe cache, Dalvik cache and data. Data is like quite obvious, but when we wipe cache and Dalvik cache, what's that actually? So let's find out what is actually cache and Dalvik cache in this video. So let's get started. And guys, let's start with cache partition. To start, I would say cache is basically used by installed apps in the system. Like if you have installed Facebook, Twitter or any app for that matter, then it will have some cache partition, and all the applications have some cache partition so that they can use the cache partition data to increase the performance or to reduce loading of some parts again and again. And that is why cache partition is very helpful. So let me give you an example. Let's assume we are using Facebook application. So we open Facebook application every 10 minutes. So if I open Facebook application and if I get few new stories or few images and there are some videos. So when you are just scrolling through Facebook application, you can see the images and the thumbnails of the video. And whenever you just scroll through Facebook application, those images and the thumbnails of the videos are stored in the cache partition in very small data that can be in KBs or sometimes it can be in MBs too. So that is where the data is stored. So let's assume you open the Facebook application once again after 10 minutes, and in 10 minutes there are hardly 1 or 2 news stories. So those 2 new stories are downloaded from the Wi-Fi or the net pack which you are using, and the new images are stored in the cache partition. But all the old stories which were cached earlier are not again downloaded from the Wi-Fi or the data pack which you are using. So that is how the data is saved. That is, the data is not again downloaded from the Wi-Fi or your data pack, and the CPU won't have to work more to download the image once again. So this is how cache partition works, and cache partition is present for all the applications. So this was an example for Facebook application. For different applications there are different things which are stored in cache partition. So that is how cache partition is used by application, and that is usually meant for betterment of the apps, but that's not always the case. Obviously there will be some times when the cache partition will be useless, or it will be like hindering the performance of the phone too. So when should you wipe the cache partition? So I categorize them into 3 points. First thing, if any of the app is misbehaving, like if Play Store is not downloading anything or it's taking too long to download anything, then the first thing you should do is wipe the cache partition of that app, and this should fix most of the issues with most of the applications. So if any of the app is misbehaving or if that's not working properly, then the first thing you should do is wipe the cache partition. And the second reason would be if any of the application is using too much of space for the cache partition, like sometimes Facebook application uses more than 100 MB or 200 MB of cache partition, then that time it's like too much for Facebook application. So that time you can wipe the cache partition. Or on the lower end devices on which only 1 GB of internal storage is present, Chrome usually takes up around 100 MB or 200 MB of cache partition space, so that's quite useless. So that is when you can wipe the cache partition. And the third reason is obvious, that if you are installing a new ROM or a new custom ROM, or if you are updating your current build to an updated build, then you have to wipe the cache partition so that the applications will work smoothly even after the update. And yeah, as I said, Chrome application uses too much of cache partition. So Chrome also stores the web pages in the cache partition. So the next time when you open the Chrome application, the last web page which you loaded on the Chrome application is loaded very fast because that's stored in the cache partition. And there are many third-party apps in the Play Store which wipe cache partition all the time. So wiping cache partition all the time is like filling the swimming pool when you want to jump into the swimming pool, and after you are done with swimming, you drain out the complete swimming pool. I don't know why, but that's what the third-party applications do when you wipe the cache partition. So I would suggest you guys not to wipe the cache partition always, other than the 3 reasons which I mentioned earlier. Because wiping cache partition unnecessarily will only result in more data usage and more CPU power being used for the cache partition to be recreated, and ultimately it will result in little bad battery life. It won't be very much affected, but it will surely affect the battery life if you wipe the cache partition all the time. So this was it for the cache partition, and now let's talk about something more interesting. That's the Dalvik cache. So when do we wipe Dalvik cache? Basically we wipe Dalvik cache when we are upgrading a ROM, and this is when we wipe the Dalvik cache manually. But Dalvik cache is also wiped automatically when there is a system update. Like when any phone gets updated from 4.4 to 5.0 or from 5.0 to 5.0.2 or any small incremental update, that is when the Dalvik cache is wiped automatically by the system. So you do not have to wipe the Dalvik cache manually when you are just upgrading a ROM or you are upgrading your phone which is like completely unrooted, unlocked. I don't know who uses like this, but yeah, if your But if your phone is like this, then the Dalvik cache is wiped automatically. So as I said, cache partition is required for all the applications, or rather all the application uses cache partition. So this is the same thing with the Dalvik cache, but the thing is that Android OS requires the Dalvik cache to run all the applications optimally. So every time you upgrade a ROM, as I said, you get a message saying Android apps are upgrading. So this is where the Dalvik cache is getting updated for all the apps, as we have wiped the Dalvik cache manually, or it is wiped automatically. So every time you reboot your phone, or if you boot into your system, then Android OS, that's the virtual machine according to Wikipedia page, looks for the Dalvik which is required for running all the apps, and if the Dalvik cache partition is not present, then it is recreated once again. So basically Android OS looks for the Dalvik cache partition every time when you boot into Android phone, and if the Dalvik cache partition is not present, then it is recreated once again. So that is why when you update a ROM, or if you get incremental update, I said this so many times, but whenever you update a ROM, or if you get an incremental updates, then that is why the boot time is very long, because the Dalvik cache is being created for all the applications. So if you have around 40 to 50 apps installed in your system, then the Dalvik cache will be created for all the applications, so that Android OS can run all these applications. So that is why the boot time is very long if you have many applications installed. So I had one doubt, like if we shifted from Dalvik to ART runtime from 4.4 to 5.0, then why do we still call it Dalvik cache? So I asked this in the XDA community, and the reply was like, yes, that's right, now ART cache is created, but it's still named as Dalvik cache because in TWRP or in all the custom recoveries, we still have the option of Dalvik cache. So after a few years, maybe when ART will be like running on all the phones, it might be called wiped ART cache. So I might have to change my all the guides of ROM installation. Oh my god. No. So to sum up the Dalvik cache thing, I would say that Dalvik cache is basically required for the Android OS to run smoothly and optimally, and that is why the Dalvik cache is very much important for the Android OS. And wiping Dalvik cache all the time is not at all suggested. Wipe the Dalvik cache only when it's needed, like updating a ROM or installing a new update. So yeah, this is pretty much it for this video, guys. If you want more videos like this, then do let me know about that in the comment section below. Or if you have any doubts, suggestions or queries, then do let me know about that in the comment section below. And if you have anything to add, like any small thing to add in this video, then do let me know in the comment section below. I would surely add that in the description later on. So yeah, thank you guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like this video, and if you want more such videos, then do hit the like button. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, then do hit the subscribe button, because many more videos like this will be coming real soon. So thank you guys, thank you for watching. Yes. Or rest, all of your stories are same. Obviously they are always the same, but still we just screw. So yeah. But anyways, and by the name Dalvik cache, I don't know what Dalvik means actually, but Dalvik cache is Dalvik cache. Because by the name Dalvik cache, I don't get anything, and when I googled what Dalvik means, I didn't get anything other than Dalvik is the Android OS virtual machine, something like that, which is like completely ununderstandable. So yeah. But as I say that, every time you Ruby. Yeah. And guys, I was planning to do this video since a week, or more than a week, rather a month. But the information was so less on the internet that I cancelled my plan so many times, and after I thought that I had enough information to give you guys, then only I did this video. So if you like this video, then don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you guys.